by far one of the best ways to increase your conversion rate and make more money for your company and for yourself is just by implementing speed. Or in other words, by replying to those messages quicker. The faster you can power through these conversations, the more likely it is that they are going to actually book a call and that they are going to make a sale on that call. And the reason behind that is simply because from the very beginning you've set up the pace of doing everything on the spot. The prospect has been warm for a long enough period of time, and once your closer pitches him on that call, the decision to invest is gonna be on spot and without any smokescreen objections. That's why I always say that speed is the key to success. Speed has always been the key, and speed will always be the key to success. Definitely will always be. Especially in these fast-paced things like appointment setting, where your speed directly affects your income. This is why I'd like to draw a little diagram here for you. So speed affects booked calls, so you're gonna book calls a lot sooner. Therefore, there is a bigger chance of getting a close. It's simple like that. People buy based on their emotions, not on logic. I think I've already mentioned that before. This is some ratio right now. 90% emotion and 10% on logic. People buy 90% of their emotions and only 10% with their logic. That's the ratio we have right here. And once you can reply very quickly, you stimulate their emotions, and there is more enthusiasm going into the conversation. They are more excited because they have less time to think, less time to apply this logic, to apply these 10% of logic. Therefore, they are more likely to go on to book a call and ultimately get close. Like I said, by speeding up your conversations, you're doing lots of things. You're being more efficient with your time. You'll spend less time chasing people and following up with them, and it's really gonna make your appointment setting job more enjoyable. Why? Because you'll actually get the chance to sit and build a connection with a certain person, and you'll be excited to check in with your closer like, oh yes, how did the call with John go? I remember talking to him, he's a real G, bro. You see what I mean? All in all, I would say that the customer service will be better as well. They'll feel like you really care for them, that you have really taken extra effort to speak with them, listen to their struggles, and ultimately provide them with the support in solving those struggles that they have. For example, let's say you're working for some big guy with lots of followers, with a lot of social proof, with a lot of credibility, and he has so many new messages per day. He probably runs paid ads or something. Now, by replying instantly to someone, they will feel extra special, which is exactly what you want. Also, when you're replying quickly, you two are going back and forth, engaging in a live conversation here and there. And that can only mean that they are more likely to do things straight away. Let's be realistic. For some reason, people are slow nowadays. Of course, speed is the key to success, but you simply can't build that into someone if he doesn't want to do it himself, if he doesn't want to implement that speed. You're not that guy, you have to implement speed, you know. You can literally get through your appointment setting structure within 5 minutes by implementing speed, having a live conversation with those prospects, you're asking them questions, they're replying straight away, and now, when the time to book a call finally arrives, they won't think that much, trust me. You have already built the habit of instant replies by now, and when you send them a Calendly link, they're not going to mess around and they're not gonna think about it, because your entire relationship is already based on doing things quickly, and the prospect is going to want to kind of prove himself to you that he's a worthy guy, especially if you're talking with him from the page of such an example that I mentioned earlier. The prospect, first of all, the prospect will think that he's speaking with the actual business owner. So while doing all of this, you're also representing the values of your client, of your business owner. You have already built that relationship around speed, and also there's one thing I can't forget, especially with inbound appointment setting. Of course, the quicker you reply, the more you're going to convert. That's logical. You're dealing with warm, interested leads, and you need to reply to those quickly in order to maximize your conversion rate. You don't want for them to cool down and take their time to apply that logic, because that's most likely going to result in waste lead. So speed means that they don't have enough time to think and cool down. On the other hand, if you don't implement speed, like I said, they will cool down, and once again it's more likely going to be a wasted lead. Even if you're an outbound appointment setter and you're doing something outside your job, maybe you went out with your friends, grab something to eat, whatever, then you suddenly hear a notification pop up on your phone and you think, oh okay, I'm gonna reply to that in a bit. Trust me boys, that's not a good thing. Reply straight away within 5 minutes or something instead of waiting, because a lot of wasted leads could have been avoided if you just replied quicker. I know you might have thought that the guy was a great lead, but for some reason he left you unseen, he ghosted you, he left you undelivered, whatever. And I think I already talked about that specific thing in one of the videos before, and it's called workflow. I talked about prioritizing the leads, so I'm gonna talk about it once again. This is how you need to prioritize the leads. Something like this. And I'm gonna actually tell you why it's so important. Number one, your number one priority should be newest leads. Newest leads first. Because if you can reply in under 5 minutes, then there's a great chance of getting them booked on that call, because they're still active, they're gonna reply to that message. And I mean, if someone waited 5 hours already for your reply, he can wait for 10-15 minutes more. What's the difference? While you're handling those newest, warmer, more interested leads. So yeah, newest first. Then second is handle some of the older leads. That's the order. And after you have handled those two, both newest and older leads, you can go on and start doing your outbound, if you're an outbound appointment setter. But if not, I would still advise you to do outbound, because obviously that's the way money is being made in this game. Of course, don't forget what I said when I mentioned that workflow before. While you're doing your outbound, when you see a notification pop up from some of these newest or oldest conversations, reply to them straight away. Go in that live conversation and reply straight away, and after you've handled that, you can continue with your outbound appointment setting. And hopefully after watching this video you'll apply speed in your appointment setting game, because can you now see how many benefits there are in just doing things quicker? You don't even have to be that skillful yet, it's gonna come naturally as you're doing it. And oh yes, one more thing I'd like to advise you. It's what I started putting in use. If you can, just set up a time for yourself sometimes throughout the day, like a deep work session, let's say. That's what I do. A deep work session of maybe 2 hours, let's say. Of maybe 2 hours. Like I said, that's what I started putting in use. And if you can just set up a time for yourself, like that deep work session, maybe an hour or two for the beginning, I don't know, to just sit and bank those messages. If you could do that, that would be amazing. After all, everything comes down to you organizing your day better to do the things with more efficiency. That's what I'm doing. I currently, every time before I go to sleep, I set myself daily objectives that I need to do throughout the next day. That's what keeps me organized. Anyways, I hope this video helped you boys. I hope this helped boys start doing this, and it would be unreasonable for you not to be making 5 to 10k a month consistently if you implement the speed in your appointment setting game. See you in the next video boys, thanks for watching and keep grinding.